Afternoon, everybody. Hope we're all okay. It's not such good weather here today. We've had quite a downpour, but it's just a little bit grey and overcast now. So here we are again, Friday, the 9th of September, tile number 274. Goodness me, what a way we've come. However, in light of today's or yesterday's information and news, we sort of wanted to do something a little bit. We know that tiles don't stop, and we've always said that we would just keep going with these. But what we are going to do, if that's okay with everybody, just as a mark of respect for our queen who sadly passed away yesterday, we're going to have a minute's silence. So I'm going to start the tile as we normally do, but then I'm not going to talk over. So if we can sort of all refrain from adding to the chat just for a minute, that would be lovely. But of course, follow it through, keep on with me or watch it back later. What do I have with me? Pen, pencil, tortillon. I've got my white gel pen and I've got a white chalk pencil as well. So if we're ready, okay, we'll make a start. So here we go. Okay, so as we can see, I started the tile with a glaze pen, didn't mean to do that, but we need a white gel pen. Got one now. And here we go, just doing a couple of rows of white there. There it is. It's our first little bit. And then I'm going to use the tile, and I want to put a grid in here, so up at a bit of an angle. So if you want to, you can sort of start here. So we've got something to work to, but you can start at that top corner if you want as well. And I don't want to make them too small, but of course at the same time we don't want a huge gap in between them. So let's work our way down. Now, of course you want to slow down a little bit when you're using a gel pen, as we know. Just takes a little bit longer for that ink to flow, so don't rush with it, just take your time. Let me see how we've got those diagonal lines going. And I just want to join them to the top there. Here we go. So ideally today, I've not used a black tile because I want to be able to use my black and my white pen. So I've chosen one of the mid greys. I've not gone for the slate, the real dark grey. I've got a mid grey tile here. There we go. And same here. So let's draw in the grids on the other side. So I'm going to get these little square shapes. There we go. And just sort of let the pen do the work, let it flow. And you just sort of work along it as you're going. Oh, Carol, you're most welcome. I'm glad to be here. I did consider not doing one today, but I thought it'd be nice for us all to sort of spend a little bit of time together. It's, times like these, we do need our friends, family. There we go. So we've got that kind of thing going on. So I'm going to just bring in my black pen, and I'm just going to come back in. I'll use the same tile, and I just want to add a black line underneath that white one. A little bit off, there we go. It's quite tricky actually doing lines quite close, you know, when you're not quite over the top of your tile, but that's fine. So you see, I want my black line just underneath my white one there. And same on this one. So just underneath that white line. Just underneath. Now of course you're going to be sort of slightly more over your tile, so there we go. And the heavens have opened up again. I'm just going to come back in and put that white line in. I just drew over it. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there are some little storms and things today lying around, so we'll just see how much we can get done. So I'm sticking with my black pen, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to choose the top. See, I've got like a V and a V. I'm going to choose the top two V's. Yeah. Oh, Glenys, you're welcome. It's, we do. We all work together, don't we? We support each other, and today's no exception. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in with my black pen and just draw in that top V. You see, just underneath that white. So whether you want to come along and do all of this line first, or whether you want to do each one individually, that's absolutely fine. You see? And then just sort of work your way down. There we go. And then same here. So bringing this line down onto just inside that white line there. You see? So if you don't want to move your tile too much, say you can do all the same direction first and then come in to do the other. So maybe, see, I might do a few this way. And then turn my tile and finish those, and then turn it and do the other. So, just on the inside of that white line there. There we go. So then I can come back, and I'm going to do, like I said, just make sure you're doing the same lines each time. We only want those top lines doing. So we've got like a little upside down V kind of thing. So I'll do that one in a minute. And we're just working inside that white line. Just giving it a little bit of dimension there, you see. So let's put that one in. And sort of with I'll lay down and do these for a bit. There's something really nice about working with a white gel pen on a dark tile, but I think if we go for a mid colour, actually being able to see the black as well is quite special, isn't it? And it really gives it some difference in terms of, you know, how the end result is. And it's a nice contrast. Would have looked actually nice using some pastels, a little bit of colour, but honestly I know you obviously we've not got any parcels out yet. We're working on it, so yeah, you won't have your pastel pencils yet. So thank you everybody for watching yesterday, really appreciate it. And I know Pauline had a good day. She was quite emotional too, so it was lovely that everybody supported her as well. Chrissy, the tile swaps I haven't quite got round to yet. I think we're probably either going to get that done over the weekend, or I'm going to do it Monday. I didn't want to sort of do it today and rush it because, you know, there's a postal strike and I just get a little bit nervous about putting special things like that in the post, knowing it might not get to you. So no, we'll have it in the post Monday for you, and then I will definitely take a photo so you've all got a picture of it. Okay, so this is where we are so far. So I'm just going to come in now with pencil, just working underneath here. I just want to do a couple more rows. So another one here. Doesn't have to be too wide. I'm not going to use the whole tile, but I just want something to give me a bit of a guide. And then let's do another one. Okay, 2 little rows. And then I'm just going to split them in the middle. And then split each one in the middle. And then each one in the middle. Okay, I think we could probably go even smaller, but I think I'm going to leave it at that, and let's see where that leads us. Okay, so I'm coming back in now with a white pencil. Now I'm going to turn it this way, but you'll probably find it easy if you're right-handed to turn it this way. You're going to sort of work along this edge, but whatever's comfortable for you. So don't think because I'm doing it this way you've got to sort of do the same. Okay, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to put a little curve, just a little one there, and then another. Now see, if we're going over that black line, it doesn't really matter because it's the black line's where I want it, which is in that little V shape there. And work your way along each little curve there, all the way to the end. Okay, so what I'd like to do is I want to do the same on the bottom, so I am going to turn it round, and on the other side there I'm going to do the same. Look, I'm going to put a curve. So again, if you want to turn it the other way, whatever's comfortable for you. But I know I confuse everybody at times because I'm left-handed, and you have to sort of work that out. Watch me upside down. Not you upside down, the video upside down. There we go. All right, so next little bit then. Let's go a bit bigger. For a second. There you go. I'm going to put it in the middle of each one. I'm going to put a little bubble. Just sort of about the middle. There we go. Just going around it a couple of times. There we go. And then, again, you start wherever you like. We're going to do the same in all of these. I'm going to put a little loop either side. And a little loop on both sides. And then filling in with little loops in those spaces. So, same on this one. And again, you can use those little pencil lines that we did as a construction just to help you. You fill in the space in there from those little grids that we drew. So loops to the 4 corners, north, south, east, west first, and then fill in between. It gives you an even spread of petals. And then along, you see how we just sort of keep going? You sort of get into the routine, I think, of drawing those shapes. And if you want to do a different petal shape, you can. You could do something more pointed. Oh, I wanted these to look a little bit like, I don't know, maybe chain stitchy kind of thing. So this would be quite a nice one if you fancied embroidering it, or if you wanted to do it as a parchment tile, that would be quite nice too. Keep it going all the way to the end. Here we go. And one more. See if we could you want to try this again later, you could do this even smaller and have really fine dainty little flowers there. Okay, so we've got this kind of shape. So I'm going to swap pens again. I'm going to go from my white to my black. First thing I'm going to do is I want to draw in that little V shape there. So we've already got the top line, but I want to come in and put in those there. You see, just following that white line, not drawing over it, just alongside it. There we go. Okay. Rose, yes, I am. I do a diary every year. I'm just sort of waiting on something coming in at the moment. Now you see here, I've just done like a little curl. I've not done the whole thing, just part of it. Yeah, Rose, I've got plans for the diary. I'll get round to it. It might be a little bit later than I normally do, but please, it's definitely coming. So, okay. So you see, I've just done part of the loops on the inside all the way around, and then same again. You see, doesn't matter which way around you go. And of course, it doesn't matter which side you could have done the right or the left. But once you've decided, stick to it. And then the same again. Just following it round. See, now if we would have gone a little bit smaller, maybe this would have been a little bit trickier to do. But it's just something to think about if you want to give it a go. Okay. There you go. And just sort of work your way along with these little lines. There you go. Oh, Sue, are they really? I thought, I didn't think they were going to go on air this afternoon. I don't know, I'll be making her the reruns. I mean, we've not seen it because we're obviously downstairs in the packing and things. So. Here we go. You see, just let those little lines going. So just sort of, I could do on the outside, I might going to do a little bit. I'm just going to sort of do maybe these middle ones here. Again, just a little black line. But I'm not going to do too much more of this. I just want to do it give it a little bit of depth there. Just on those ones. Okay. And then where we've got this white curve or this little loop. Because flowers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's 8 flowers there. But if you've got more, that's fine. If you've got less, that's fine. You're just going to have a slightly different shaped flower than I've got. But no, that's okay. There we go. You see, just in and along. Okay, let's have a look at where we're at so far. Look at that, so far, so good. Okay, so I'm going to come back in with my white pen. Let's just put the lid on that one. And again, you can do it this way, or you can do it this way, whatever works for you. And I'm going to create little loops. Now I'm going to start in the middle and do a couple that side, that's it, that side, in the middle again. Now you could actually just sort of do loops all the way along, it's absolutely fine, but I think sometimes it's nice to have that little focal point in the middle there, and if each one is similar, I think you get a sort of a more symmetrical line. Even though they're slightly different, that's fine, but we know we have one sort of sat in the middle, those little loops there. There you go. Same this way. And just sort of work it along each one. You see the little gap in there? That's fine. I'm not going to try and squeeze one in. Just work your way along. Okay. So next one then, I'm going to come in back with my black pen, and I'm going to do a little, when I say an aura, we're doing a real close one, following those loops all the way around. We're not covering the white line, but we do. Just sort of follow it along. There you go. Same along this one. You see, just working it in. Just enjoying really how that black and white pen work together. There we go. So I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to come back in with my white. Again, I'm going to turn it round. So we've got another sort of little grid, haven't we? So I'm going to imagine part halfway there and part way there. And you see I've got this line here. So I can do a curve on this one. And then the same again from here to part way here, look. And a curve on this one. I'll do a little bit on there. And then the same. I can actually see this on camera better than I can on my tile. You see? And then just marking that bit there, and around. And then same here, around, and around. Just sort of keep it going. Okay, so we've got these little loops. So I'm going to do an aura on the inside now, these loops. We've got something to work to. So there we go. And sort of following it round. There we go. And of course we could do all this white work on its own to start with and then come back with the black. But I kind of like seeing how it works with the black there. So I'm coming back in. Now remember, we actually work on the outside of this. So I'm going to turn my tile around again. And I'm going to draw a line on the outer edge, you see, of these two lines. Now if you find that your little aura here is a little bit too close, that's fine, don't worry about it. Just do the black on the outside there, it's fine. There you go. Just taking your time, working your way down. Oh, thanks, Leslie.
You're welcome. Afternoon, guys.
Tea time. There we go. She's even brought John a cup of coffee up. There you go. And just sort of trying to keep outside that white line. Don't strain your hand when you're doing this, because I know sometimes you're trying to focus something, it can get a little bit much. So there we go, this one done. All right. So back to the white. I'm keeping you on your toes today. What I want to do this time is I'm going to do those little shapes again, but I'm just going to go just a little bit longer. See? A bit longer and a little bit thinner there. But same sort of thing. Work your way along that edge. And just keep it going, you see? Same on this one. And there. You know, once your pen starts to flow, especially these gel pens, I think you find it gets a little bit easier. Sometimes you have to kick start a gel pen, certainly the white ones, don't you? into getting going. Okay. Sue, what says, I'm using an 03 pen, and honestly this one is an 05 gel pen. They're not always that easy to come by, so an 08 would be absolutely fine. And every gel pen, I don't know if you notice, every gel pen's different. Some are really juicy and work brilliantly, and then others just don't seem to want to do anything. All right, pull your two out at the same time. That's lovely. We've got perfectly timed. But yeah, so then, there you go. That's looking 05. And then there's my 03. And again, I'm going to come in with that black and wander along with it. See, just going on the outer edge of those white lines there, giving it a little bit of shadow. It doesn't matter if the shape's a bit different or the petals aren't all the same, just follow it anyway. That gives us that, okay? Froze. So I'm just going to come back to my white then. I mean, what I tend to do with my white is I will actually try it on my, once it starts. And a 5 can be notorious for not wanting to work at all. So there you go. Little bubble look on the top of each one there. There we go. Going to get half of one there. And then, oh, Bernadette, you know, I think I've probably got a steady hand because I do this a lot. I think it just comes with practice. And I think as well, sometimes if you're a little bit apprehensive about putting pen to paper, you might find that you're a little more, you know, your pen line comes out. If you try and you know, give yourself a nice steady hand, and you're in a comfortable position, and you have a confident pen stroke, you find that you get there with it. You see, I'm just doing these little dots now, getting a bit smaller and a bit smaller along that edge. Okay. So I'm going to just come back to this way. Let's have a look at it. Oh, look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Really wanted to do something quite traditional today. And yeah, I was hoping we were going to get that kind of effect. All right, I want another line across the top here. So I'm going to put myself a little mark. I don't want to go too tall. Let's have a look. And then let's put a little line in there. You see, giving me another little bit of a grid space there. And again, if we want to, I can find the middle. See, the middle's there, look. And then in the middle, So it's going to give me 8 spaces again. There you go. Okay. So back in. What I want to do is I'm going to sort of, where I've got the middle, I want to put a little curve this way. So I'm going to do that all the way along in each of those spaces. I always find doing the part of the curve first and then coming back and doing the other side afterwards. Just find it a little bit easy to do because you can maintain that curved shape. And then same along here, look. Along and along. There you go. Don't worry about it being perfect. This is a little piece of hand lace. It's not been industrially manufactured. So again, I'm going to do an aura inside. I don't want it to be too close. So give it a little bit little bit of edge there, a little bit of shape or space in the middle of each one. And again, just sort of follow your lines. There you go. Okay. And I'm going to stick with the white. I'm going to put a curve on the edge of these. There you go. And then I'm going to fill each of those spaces like with little lines. Just sort of following that little curve shape. Working my way along. There you go. And then if I turn it this way, see where we got that pencil line? I'm going to put that line in. Just going to extend it a bit, put a little bobble on the end. And then another one this side and one on this side. If you want to put more in, that's fine. You can get 5 in there. That's fine. See, one in the middle, one either side. And little bobbles on. One in the middle, one either side, and little bobbles. In the middle, either side. You see? Just gonna work my way along. Do these little bubbles. And a little line and one either side. There you go. You just sort of let your pen flow. Once you get these working, they're great. Okay. So I'm going to come in the top bit here now. I'm going to put a little droplet on. Just like that. On the top of each one. There we go. Now, depending on how close you are to the edge of your tile here, of course, depends on how tall these are going to be, but you don't want them too big. And then I'm going to create a little line coming off and one either side. Little bobbles. And a little line in the middle, one either side, and little bobbles. So I'm going to do that all the way along. Now there's nothing stopping you if you want to go in with your gel pens and things to add extra to this, but I'm going to stick with the white on there today. I'm not gonna add any colour to this one. There we go. So going back, just going to finish now. Of course, it depends on how much space you've got here. I'm going to do a bubble and then another one. I could do 3, but I don't want it to be right on the edge. If you've got space, you can do 3. But it depends, doesn't it? If you want to. If you've got a lot of space, you could put 3 or 4. I'm just going to stick with the 2. Okay, last one. Okay, so I'm going to swap to my black pen. And again, coming into these little shapes here, these little curves, I'm going to come on the inside of the line. The inside of the line. Here we go. And again, if you've got a very, very narrow gap between the 2, don't worry. If you can only do the 1, that's fine. There you go. See? I'm not going to do the other side. I think I'm going to leave it as that. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to leave it as that. And then just sort of here, I'm going to just draw in. I'm going to use the same side. And put in these little black lines. I'm not going to get much in there. Okay. And probably just one more line, I think. I'm going to do... just going to... let's have a look. I'm going to put one on this side. You know, just sort of giving that a section space between each one. And there. Work my way along. Okay, let's have a look at where rows. I think they'd be okay. Oh, I think you could use the gel pens. The gel pens are slightly thinner than the 08 white pen, so it's absolutely fine. You can use whatever works for you. I'm going to come in now with a bit pencil. And what I want to do here is, you see where we've just drawn those black lines? I want to add a little bit of pencil in there, just to give it a little bit of an enhance. Okay, not much. Don't need much on this. Okay. And then where I drew that black line, I want to add a little bit there. Just on that top section. And then I added a black line here too. And I'm going to do a little bit across the top here. And a little bit here. I'm going to go both sides of that one. And then I'm going to just go into my little petal shapes here. And then just sort of underneath here. Now I'm not going to go over the white dots. I can do, it's not a problem if you do one. I'm just going to go underneath there. Okay, and one more, just sort of underneath there. Now you can do a little bit more of this. You can add extra little bits if you want to. Well, let's torch that out and see how it looks. So I'm going to start from the top there and just very gently soften those bits. So it's not going to need much. It's quite dark already there. And again, depending on what colour tile you've used. Actually, this would look quite nice, you know, if you used like a, I don't know, maybe the sorbet, maybe the pink sorbet or a blue sorbet. You could still use your white pen on that, it'd look quite nice, wouldn't it? See here, I'm just going to soften it round. I can sort of see a little bit of a shine on there, on mine. And I'll work that out a bit. Same on this side, so it's just going sort of in to that design a little bit. And then this one, not too much, so just touch it around. Same here, I don't want to sort of completely saturate my tile with graphite, so let's just give it a little bit of something to work on there. And then same on this one. There you go. And then just sort of underneath that. Now I don't mind if I go over the white a bit here. You can always go back over it if you want, or you can leave it slightly more subdued. See, there we go, it's quite nice. Let's get another row of that. And then I'm just going to bring my white pencil in and let's go back to the top. So I'm going to add a little, just a little bit on the inside of those. Now I'm hoping not to have to blend this in, so just be light with it. We just want that little bit of a highlight just to give it a contrast. And then the same sort of on the bottom, you know where that V is on these? Just a little bit. And then just a little bit on this side of the line. And the same with this one. So we're working on opposite ends. Don't want to add too much. Okay, so you see we've got some of these in the middle. Just going to add a little sort of V to those. You see, just giving it a little bit of a hint. Now because we've got graphite on the sides there, we don't want to sort of do them all. So you see I'm just sort of trying to randomly pick a few just across the middle there, just to give it just a little bit of a hint. Let's see. Maybe a couple there. We'll have a look at that in a bit. And then just sort of underneath here, we're just going to add a little bit of pencil. And I think I am going to blend that bit out. So let's have a look. Do I have a clean torty on? Not really. I do have one with a bit of orange on from yesterday. But that's okay, a little bit of a file. So it just gets rid of that there. A little bit there. There you go. And I'm going to just very gently soften that off. Just don't want any hard edges. Nice and clean. There you go. And then just sort of where we've done these, and just going to soften them off too. We need the highlight there, but we don't want them to sort of be completely. Oh, look at this, there's a highlight on it. Don't want to worry about that. There you go. Just sort of work your way around as you're going. So let's have a look. Alright, I think, yeah, I would like a little bit more white. Maybe I will go in and add it in all. But just at the top, I'm just going to sort of do, see, just one side. Little bits. I don't want as much at the bottom anyway, because you've got that graphite in there. Just sort of soften them out a little bit. If you want to, you could always go back in and add a little bit more pen if you feel it needs it. I don't know, I quite like the subtlety of it. I don't really want to overdo it. Today we want to just keep it nice and classic. Yeah. So just a little bit down here. There we go. Okay. So I think just sort of around this top edge, I want a little bit of pencil. And it's just sort of very gently, just around that top edge there. You see? Just needs a little bit to finish there. Okay, so what I've done, I've just added a little bit more pencil over the top there, just blended it out softly, and then added my little signature there. So that's our tile, 274, goodness me. I do actually have my little sketch here. It's sort of similar but different, and I've used one of the earth tiles, so I've used a brown. So you see there, you get a slightly different effect depending on where you go with it and what you do, but very, very similar. So whether you want to stick with the classic, you can go with the black if you like, but whatever colour you want to use, it's quite nice to sort of have a go at. So yeah, love you to try it. I mean, of course you can try to change different bits and pieces around, so you know, whatever you're comfortable with, just sort of have a little play with it. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you a little bit of relaxation and focus time on just on what you're doing rather than what's going on around today. So enjoy it. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. I will get the tile swap out on Monday for you, so apologies for the delay, but we'll get there with it, and I will speak to you all again here on Tuesday. So everybody take care and see you soon. Okay, bye.